Welcome back everyone to this new episode of building a theme park without game passes. First of all, I want to thank you guys so much for the insane support on the first episode. That was something I was not expecting. I got a tons of comments of ideas he gave me on how to build some certain stuff. So I'm definitely going to be using that in the coming next episode since we will be building a lot. So let's just get straight into this. So we're going to start with something I asked last video, and that was what should we place in this middle area right here. And I got a lot of reactions, and the most actually said place a carousel in there. So that's what we're going to be doing. Sadly, I'm unable to place the big one since, well, it's not centered as you can see. So that's a bit annoying, but that means we will have to place the smaller one, but it's not the biggest problem. So I'm going to be placing that right there, and then just the exit, I guess, right here. That looks pretty nice. And then the queue is, I guess, just going to be very standard. Nothing really going to be special. I'm just going to probably make it do this. Very nice, of course. Now people can just hop on whenever they want, and I don't think I want that, so I'm probably going to add a fence around it. And for that, I'm probably actually going with a chain. I feel like that can be a bit more fitting and not that weird looking. Oh, yeah. Oh, that actually does kind of work. And now that I'm actually looking at it, the color is a bit off, so let's just quickly change that. I guess I just need to change the color to maybe red. Oh no, not that one. Yeah, I think that actually does kinda work. There we go. Here we have our carousel in the middle. I'm just going to open it. I think it's pretty nice. Of course, we cannot do a lot to it since, well, we don't have any game passes. So the past couple of days, I've actually been looking at doing certain stuff with the terrain. As you can see, this is all made of different primitives, and I feel like this can be a cool thing for in the future since I'm not going to be doing that today. And I've also been working on making some patterns with the walls and primitives, and well, as you can see, I have created some cool things. It's like a Roman style and just all these little patterns, and I've been just sort of testing with stuff, and these are smoke emitters, but I guess if you place them on top of a building, they can be maybe some air conditioning. I don't know. So that's also what I've been working on. So if you have any ideas that I still miss, or just sort of tricks I can do with building stuff, please let me know down below in the comments. So now is the big question. Are we going to the right or are we going to the left? Let's go to the front. I think that's the best idea to do. Because what I want to do is actually add a staircase leading up, since I am planning to have a lot more terrain in the back that sort of is against a mountain hill. Which does mean we need a staircase to a little bit of a higher level, which I plan to have all across here. So we have a lot of different levels to the theme park. So it feels maybe a bit more bigger, since of course we do not have that much space. We do not have unlocked those plots. And I don't know how high I want to make this. Maybe 4. I feel maybe 5 height is the right call, and then we're just of course going to paint this like that. And that also means we need a path, of course, on top of here. Now we got a nice elevated level, and around here I am planning to make maybe a rock face, so it's really steep. That was my idea. I think that can be pretty cool. And then on top of here we can maybe build another roller coaster or another stuff. And maybe just for in the future, if we have a big mountain here, we can go inside the mountain and have way more room here, so we have multiple layers of theme park, just so we optimize the room as much as possible, because we just don't have that much. So for now I'm just going to continue this path, but I'm not going to be building anything there. I'm just going to, for now, I think just make a wall here. So if you place that right here and that one right there, and we just paint that, we actually have some nice entrance into this, where it is going to end into a black tunnel. Let's just continue this path. This path is really thick. We do not need this much path. So what I'm going to be doing is just slowly, I guess, make it thinner to maybe 3 or maybe even 2, something like this. And what I'm doing with the path for now, I don't know. Doing something and hope it looks fine in the future, but I think this is good enough for now. There we go. And that means it's going to be probably a whole rock face around here. And I think I'm first going to make that, and then I'm going to do the thing I want to really do in this episode. So let's just get straight on building this rock face, which I will mainly be doing with the rock. And why I'm doing it mainly with this rock is because I can actually place rocks on top of this, and I am going to make this as steep as possible. Okay, I think that looks quite terrible, so let's make it actually look a little bit better. And for that I will be having these 3 colors of rocks that I'm just going to be placing all around here, just so it's not looking this dark, since I want it to be a happy park and not this sad and dark. Okay, well now we have actually gotten some more shapes and some more color into it, but it does look a bit messy, I would have to say. So I am probably going to add some more greenery to it, just some bushes, some more other type of rock, or maybe these in between them, so it looks a bit more better, since well, it does look a bit chaotic at the moment. moment. And I might just add a little bit of green on the top of all these rocks because, well, I feel a bit realistic to have like the grass on top of here, and that also means I can put some trees on top of it so it doesn't look that, well, gray. And most of this is still probably going to be covered, but I do have to say, for what you of course can do without game passes, which is quite limited, it does not look too bad, and I kinda like it. And I feel like if we maybe add like a fence on top of here, it can look pretty cool. And I feel I should maybe use the same one, just this one again, since this one pretty much work with the chains. And I'm probably going to add another staircase all the way at the end here, just so you don't only can get up there with the main staircase right here. And now you actually also get a nice view from this right here. But there is a reason why I wanted this, and that's mainly because I want to have a roller coaster around this part. I would say let's just get straight into that. But then the next big question is, what roller coaster am I going to be using? And I feel for some reason there's only one real right roller coaster type for this, and that is for some reason the hybrid. And I know this is quite a big roller coaster type just at the start, but I think it can work. I think it can work. Of course, I do not have the mountain. That's going to be slowly going up right here, but for now I think that's not really needed. And I probably want to actually have the station quite a lot in the back, so I am probably going to place it around here and then a lot up. That's maybe a bit much. And then what I want to do, because of course the path will be under right here, so we are of course going in the advanced editor, since, well, that is free. We can at least use that, so that's pretty nice. So I'm just going to put this on probably to the pivot offset, and I want to get into a barrel roll straight out of the station going down this cliff, which is, as you can see, going to be quite challenging. Okay, well, I'm going to try that, and let's see how that's going to end up. I am probably going to start turning right here, since, well, I do want to have a turn right here. And keep in mind, we of course still have all the room that also the money farm has right now, so if I need to, I can slowly delete my money farm, since, well, I have almost 3 million right now, and I still have the other side, which is probably good enough. So something like this for now seems to be fine. Remember, I can always go inside the mountain if I want to optimize the space, and that's probably exactly what I'm going to be doing, since, well, we start of course already quite high. So I feel, what if we just do another barrel roll going straight into the mountain, which does mean I will have to delete quite a lot of terrain again, since, well, we do not have any game passes. So it is going to be interesting how I'm going to be filling that, but I'm not sure if this is too smart what I'm now going to be doing, but oh well. So let's just delete all of that terrain that I just made right there, and I'm just going to fill that in. And let's continue with this, of course, and then we're going to go down. I have no idea how much speed we'll be having there. Something like that. It's probably going to be a bit rough, but it's probably good enough. Maybe I can auto-connect it so it's better, who knows? No. Actually, I think this does look a little bit better. This transition still is not the best, but we actually have a quite nice barrel roll going into here, which does look pretty cool so far. And why I want to snap it actually to the grid is that then just the chain lift itself is going to be way easier being made. So I might actually still even do it with the basic editor, just so I have the right angle going up, which definitely not steep enough actually. I think that's good enough, and then we can use this of course with a chain lift. There we go, and then we can go quite a lot. I'm not sure how steep the mountain is going to be, but I feel something like this is high enough. Let's of course snap to the... I exceeded the height limit. That means we will have to make it one shorter. Okay, well then that means this is sort of going to be the max height of the mountain and of course the roller coaster, which, as you can see, is not a lot. So that's mainly why I also want to use just a lot of room everywhere. So this goes mainly going to be in the back part of this, and so far I think it does look pretty cool. Actually, let's just ride it. Might actually have like a lot of speed, and it's going to be extra challenging for me. So normally I'm able to of course change operations, but now I'm not. So if the coaster doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. So that means I have to change the layout, and I cannot change any of the other stuff. So let's just go in our first JoJo roll. I think if you go out of the station and then we have a nice turn into a barrel roll. So you just already start off with 2 inversions straight into the chain lift. I think that's a pretty decent start. I'm going to be building the coaster layout, and let's do it in the form of a time lapse. Alright, let's start with this time lapse. As you've seen, we are going to build, and as I said, I built a hybrid coaster, and yeah, I went all the way up to the height limit, which as you can see is actually not that high. And I am actually trying to use, or with the start of the roller coaster, it's really inspired by Wildfire. It's also a hybrid coaster somewhere in, I think, Norway. I'm not even correct. But as you can see, I am digging a massive hole since, well, we do not have a lot of height, but we have an extra 20 meters in the ground, so why not use that? I thought that was a pretty smart idea. So like all the way under the mountain, I'm going to remove the ground, so we just have a lot more room. And then of course on top of the mountain we have like an extra layer, so we can like sort of have two layers of the theme park, one that's inside the mountain and then one that's on top of the mountain, just so we can like optimize all the room we actually have. So let's just start actually with the first inversion, or well, the third inversion actually, which is going to be a 0G stall, which is going to come like on out of the side of the mountain, I think, which can be pretty cool. And it's actually still really cool to build a roller coaster like this, just without game passes, but you can still of course use the advanced editor and you can still do some really good stuff. Like this whole roller coaster, guys, is of course still made without any game passes, which is pretty insane. Of course you do see sometimes I am not able to place a few pieces at some point, and I think at the end I will be slowly changing some of the parts in the layout. And even after this recording I did change still some stuff. Like right here I was like, okay, I need to get back to the station, well, that's the perfect place. But then a little bit later was like, it is really short and it does not look the best, so we will be changing that a little bit later. But of course I did not have enough speed to get all the way back up, so that does mean there will be a second lift hill, just so we can get up sort of. Maybe there's going to be some feet, I can't even get up there. I was really struggling getting up there. But let's have a look at this roller coaster. Yeah, I am actually really happy so far with the layout. I have changed a few stuff, you will be seeing in a little bit, but yeah, massive drop down, and yeah, it just looks really good. And yeah, the brakes weren't hard enough and I just didn't really like it, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to extend the layout just a little bit, see where I can go, see where I have the space. And just of course the speed was getting slower and slower, and then I decided, okay, well, I'm just going to go up right here and add the brakes, which I accidentally all the way did like to the plot, so I won't be able to place any stuff there. So or I changed it already or I changed it later, but that was kinda not the best idea. And then I had also some more room to actually add some block brakes, because Coaster first didn't have block brakes, so that meant it only had one train. And yeah, that's also not the best. So for now it just has two trains. I can maybe add like, hey, now you can also have the block brakes on the train lift, but I didn't really want to do that since then it stops at the top and that's just a bit unrealistic. As you can see, I am here already changing the first turn. This was like an overbank turn, but it was just really rough. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to change it to maybe like around 80-90 degree turn, and it does look a little bit better, but I still wasn't really happy with the shaping. But I think it turned in the end pretty smooth, and that's how I'm just going through the whole coaster, looking at stuff that can be maybe a little bit smoother, since there are yeah, some rough transitions where you can sort of feel like a bump more of it. And yeah, I started just changing that. I think next up is the, if I am correct, yeah, that at the brake run, since that just didn't feel really smooth. So just changing, looking what works, what the right angle is. And you see I try a lot of different stuff. Like you can change up a roller coaster. Like if it's the first time not smooth, don't be like, okay, well, this is it. You can fix it, you can change it. That's definitely a possibility. That's really handy to have. But that's how the roller coaster now looks. Let's have a look in game again. Okay, there we go. The roller coaster layout is finished, and I have to say I am really happy with how it turned out. As you've seen in the time-lapse, and as I've said in the time-lapse, I have a huge hole in the ground here, which I will of course also be extending all the way here. So we have just a little bit more space, since, well, we know we do not have a lot of space and we do not have the plots and we cannot build that high, so it is very challenging. But I think I use the space quite a lot. In here I am probably going to plan maybe add some more rides, maybe like some drop towers in this area right here, maybe another flat ride in here, so we can like really like optimize all the space we are using. And yeah, this I am really happy with the layout. It's smooth. It's going to be probably an absolute pain in making all the rocks around the ride. Of course, we do not have any game passes, so that's going to be very fun, but also a challenge that I'm very, very excited for. I still want to do one thing in this episode, and that is probably finish this wall right here, and at the end we will have maybe like a small look at the POV. So let's continue. So now the challenging part comes, making the terrain around here, and I cannot place stuff around here, so that means it's probably going to look a bit strange, maybe even at some points, but I am going to try my best. I hope I can at least add stuff up here, so as you can see, it still is able to go in here. I'm not able to place anything there, but that's probably fine. And for now, I will probably leave this open here, since I think I'm going to be adding a staircase also right here, so maybe I'm just going to add this for here right now. It's probably not going to be exactly maybe on this point, maybe this, I just don't know yet, since, well, we're not doing this yet. But that does mean I can, for now, just add the old rocks right here, so it looks decent. Okay, there we go. Now we, of course, are going to give the treatment that we did also right here.
A few moments later.
And there we go. That is also this one now done. And I have to say, I actually kind of like it. I might actually even be able to maybe add like a ride inside of here, which I think, ooh, that can be really cool. Like if you maybe plain ride, does that fit? I'm just going to place it for now, so I have sort of the idea that I might want to place a ride in there. That's for the next episode, but I think we have done quite a lot. As you've seen, we have now sort of finished this, yeah, definitely the entrance area itself. We have started working on the higher area in the park, where of course in the future there's going to be the mountain on top of here. Maybe we can even have like a higher platform on top of there and have more theme park up there, which can be maybe pretty cool. If you have any ideas still that you want to see in this part, please let me know in the comments. I'm of course reading those, and yeah, I actually learned a lot from you guys, since, well, a lot of people actually do not have any game pass, which surprised me. And yeah, I have to say the favorite part of my roller coaster is probably this part here. I'm going to fill this up with like rocks, and then you are just going to see this track, and sometimes you just have the luck you see the train actually like fly by next to you, and for the rest you see nothing of it. So that's going to be really, really cool. Let's just have one look at the POV and how it is. It's definitely not the most extreme smooth coaster, but of course I have my limitations at some points with, of course, the terrain and all that other stuff. But let's have a ride. So as I've said, we're of course starting with a JoJo roll. That's very slow, very nice. It's already the first version, straight into the second, into the mountain. That's going to be very cool. And then we're of course going up the mountain on this. Well, yeah, slow chain lift. I can sadly not speed it up, even if I wish to, but that's yeah, that's just not possible. Then you might recognize this sort of like begin of an hybrid. This is mainly inspired by Wildfire. Of course, it will be in an entirely different setting and everything, but it is a bit inspired by it, but I think, yeah, that can be fitting very, very good. Then we're going under here with this first airtime hill into probably my favorite part, the 0G stall. Also pretty smooth actually. Then we have this 90-degree turn all the way back in some S turns, very nice. Then we have this sort of, yeah, ish 0G roll, I'm not really sure what it is. And then we just have some high fast pace turns into the brakes. It's definitely not the longest layout, but I just don't have enough room to add more than this, and just not the speed. So guys, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will say, as always, goodbye.